to ask, concerning your Kira's romance with Odo, did you like it? Did you like the approach they took to it? And if you read any fan fictions made by fans bound to their law, so to speak?
You know, I came upon some fan fiction and it frightened me. I think it was the wrong kind of fan fiction that I found first. And after that, I just thought, you know, it's better if they have their ideas of what happens to Kira, and I don't look at it on purpose. I kind of liked that they made best friends into lovers. It would have been much more obvious for Cisco and Kira to get involved. That would have been more typical, you know, hierarchically. But I loved their relationship. They were friends, and they were always friends. And personally, I loved working with Renee. Renee is an actor who, you know, it's like going to play tennis with somebody. They are better at the game than you are. They're going to bring your best game. You're going to play really hard to keep up. And he never, ever, ever wasn't prepared for the day. Such a professional. Such a professional. I love that. And that's not always true. Some people learn it as they go through the day. Some people learn it as you film it. It's all different. But he was like it was theater. He was ready. And so was I. So it was nice. We both came from the theater that way.
Would you like to share with us some memories of your own Sid Chase?
Oh. My memories of Sid, I was very young when, well, I'll tell you, the family and her personal friends called her Sad Sid. Because my uncle was very naughty, and he was a dance teacher, and to be a straight dance teacher in the 1950s, he had a lot of women and made her very sad. So when I was very young, they divorced, and I have a cousin that we keep up with pretty much on and off, and my uncle died years ago. So my memories of her, my best memories of her, are really your memories of her. And the legacy that comes through her is really the dance, which comes from my grandmother, Calliope, and her training in the Paris Opera, where you weren't even supposed to be married. She went to the Paris Opera and lied about being married and having 11 children. So she trained there as a young woman, already with 11 children, and went back and trained all her children. So that's really, the dance is is the family tie with Sid.
A questo punto, parlando proprio della sua esperienza in Broadway, lei ha interpretato il ruolo di Roxy in Chicago ed è stata considerata una delle migliori Roxy di tutti i tempi. E vorrei che vi raccontasse un aneddoto che ha raccontato a me qualche anno fa, perché è veramente molto divertente. You played Roxy in Chicago, of course, on Broadway, and I remember when we came here a few years ago that you told me a very nice anecdote of somebody who knocked on your door after the show to compliment you and congratulate you. It was a very famous actor.
Who was it? No, you know who it was? Cary Grant.
Oh, sorry.
Cary Grant. And I was actually doing... Yeah, Cary Grant. I tell you, Cary Grant, he was in his 80s, and I was actually doing 42nd Street at the time. I was doing the lead in 42nd Street, and Cary Grant, after we were told to wait because there was a photo opportunity, so don't go anywhere, so we stayed. And onto the stage walks this man. It was as if his personality went 5 feet all around him. You could feel him in his 80s, and it was like, oh my God, I'll give up anything for you. What do you want? Oh my God, he was so amazing. And he said, you're good. And I said, I'm a stupid 25-year-old. I am? And he said, please, you know. And I have a picture of him, and he's looking like Cary Grant, you know, and I'm like this. I still can't believe I met Cary Grant.
And you told me you asked him an autograph.
Yes, and I have it. I have the autograph from Cary Grant. I remember going up, I don't know if you know who Buzz Aldrin is? Yes. Yeah. I went up to Buzz Aldrin and I said, can I have your autograph? He said, yeah. Can I have yours? It's amazing. It's just a strange, strange life. I've met a lot of amazing people. Oh my God, the people who would come on the set who were Star Trek fans, the brilliant minds of the time. It was nonstop. It's been fascinating life, truly, because of Star Trek mostly. Broadway too.
What about Chicago?
Chicago. Have you ever seen the, did you see the film?
Yes.
Did you see the musical on stage? Yes. Yes. It's very different. If they ever do it here, you must go see it on stage. I'll tell you what the difference is.
They can dance.
Yes, they can dance, but also a very specific, the whole point of Chicago is women in a desperate place. They are used to using their feminine wiles, and they are at the end of the time. In the time that this is written, in the 20s, they are considered too old. And this is their last chance for stardom, for celebrity, for everything that we tend to think, or some people tend to think is important now. That's what these lead characters wanted. So, if you're not at the edge of that time of your life, who cares? Go to jail. Go to jail, come out in 20 years, you try again. The leads were too young in the movie, way too young. It's about mature, sexy women who are a little desperate, and that's always interesting. I always find that interesting. So.
It's also about dancing.
And it's about Bob Fosse's choreography, which was so amazing. And the way Anne Reinking recreated it. Annie was a student of my mother's as well, and she recreated Bob Fosse's work unbelievably. Anne, of course, was Bob's lover and did all those jobs because of that, but also because she's incredibly talented. But she had the wherewithal to put together a show that really kind of stripped down his work to just show what was really amazing about it, and dark and sexy and beautiful. It's a very sexy show. And I did it on Broadway. I did it during 9/11, where we didn't know if Times Square was going to be hit next. We assumed it would be. We didn't know if more planes were coming. And when our mayor, Giuliani, called us back one day after, I suddenly realized this is what I do. This is why I do what I do. We help get everybody back. We help make people feel like life is going back to normal. It was a big lesson to me to realize that that's part of what we do. There would be, you know, in a Broadway house that holds hundreds and hundreds of people, there would be maybe this many people out there looking at us, dancing and talking about being murderesses, and we were all stunned and horrified. The people up and the people watching, we were all stunned and horrified. But somehow, forcing ourselves to do it, and then forcing themselves to go out, whether we were all scared or not, it brought the city back to life. It started to come back to life, and there's a real purpose to it. So I respect it even more. I respect theater even more. On the other side of that, I remember when the big earthquake happened in LA. I was there for that too. And I was there for Hurricane Sandy in New York. It seems it follows me, these things. But during the earthquake, can you imagine to see a Ferengi driving a car? This horrible earthquake has happened, and suddenly Armin Shimmerman is still in makeup, and they say, get out, go home, go see what's going on at home.